Okay, everybody, I am live. It is Sunday morning, about a quarter to 10 a.m. here in Zhongshan, China. Now, I got to check the feed because a lot of people are saying that my videos are getting a little jumpy. And so, if you're watching me out there and if my video is jumpy, let me know and I'll just come back. But, anyways, man, it's been a long week. Let me tell you, there's been a lot of things happening here in China, and I've got a lot of news to cover for you guys today. Uh, I'll just give you a quick update on me. It's Mayday holiday this weekend, so everyone is off. The college is empty. I mean, even the other teachers that were here have left and gone home, and it's literally just me alone back on the college campus again, except for the construction workers all around me. And I don't want to say on two sides, almost three full sides of my building is massive demo work going on. I mean, jackhammering, and they're taking out all the vegetation. They're sawing. It's very, very loud. So if you hear it in the background, I've closed all my windows, and I only have one AC unit that's working, and it's not working very well, unfortunately. But as I'm going to be a little warm doing this today, especially with all the lights. Um, it's still very, very loud, and it wakes me up every morning. So there's no sleeping in right now, and I anticipate that going to be the case for the next year and a half, 2 years while I live here. So, uh, as far as work goes, I continue to be working my tail off doing these online classes. It's um, it's a lot of work, and I had my lesson plans ready to go for the regular term, but because of the way things are structured and they're trying to get everything else in, by the time the term ends, I will have to produce an additional three lesson plans. And these lesson plans take a week to prepare, literally 20, 30 hours of solid work to prepare each lesson plan properly and then submit it for approval. So I'm not looking forward to that. So this holiday, May Day, it's 5 days, I believe, for most Chinese. For me, I took yesterday off. I just relaxed here at home, but I'm back at work today. So as soon as I'm done with this live stream, I've got some other administrative things to do, even though it's a Sunday. And then I don't want to go to the parks because they're just packed with people. Everyone I know is going to the parks because the weather is really beautiful right now. And I thought about like riding down there and doing a video of the parks and doing some people watching and see how it is. But I think I'm just going to go for a small little hike near Fuko Village. I got a viewer who sent me a small video yesterday of him hiking there, and I'm like, I know that trailhead. I'm going to go check that out. So I might just do that and make a video. And then tonight I got to come back and do more lesson planning because that's going to be my focus over the next couple of weeks, and it just has to be. I re-signed my contract here at the college for next year. I did not ask for more money. They did not give me more money, but I'm I'm not complaining because I'm happy that I still have a job. There are so many teachers out there that don't have a job at all. Some teachers are getting full salary and working online like me. Some teachers are getting partial salary, kind of like a retainer for when the schools reopen in the next couple weeks. And then some teachers have just been let go completely. And many, many teachers have been let go completely. And I'm very happy that I still have a job. And, it just gives you a little bit more stability in your life. My car broke, as you saw. It's currently in the shop. The shop is closed. They won't come back till next week. I'm not going to drive it around, obviously. So they want me to pick it up in, I guess, another week. So that's fine. I've been riding around on my e-bike the last couple of days, and the weather has been just phenomenally beautiful. A little humid during the day, but at night, riding around on the bike throughout the city is magic. It's just the Goldilocks months right here, right now. Um, and I haven't been riding all that much, so I'm very happy to uh, have the opportunity to ride again. Now, I will do another video about e-bikes coming up very shortly because here in In a lot of Chinese cities, you can't ride e-bikes and motorbikes. They're banned. Zhongshan being a third-tier city, there are e-bikes everywhere. It's very, very ubiquitous. They're in every little town that you go to within the provincial city. It's the preferred mode of transportation. And they just came out with they didn't just. It was last year they came out with all these new rules, and now they're starting to enforce them and put them in place. So I think it's like June 20th or the end of June, they are going to start confiscating all of the e-bikes that are considered illegal. And mine is one of them. Now, my e-bike, I've always known, has not been a completely legal e-bike. But it's one of those rules and laws that is not enforced because everybody has it. They sell them like hotcakes. Every grandmother takes their little children all over to the supermarkets on these e-bikes. Every Meituan delivery guy rides one of these e-bikes. They're everywhere. And come June 20th, it's going to be very interesting to see when they start banning these big, giant e-bikes, what's going to happen. Because you can get an e-bike, but it has to be like a smaller, less powerful e-bike, and you have to have it registered. You have to have a license plate on it. That is becoming an issue. So the big giant e-bikes like mine, they're not a motorbike, because if you have a motorbike, you have to have a motorbike license. And you can't license these giant e-bikes. So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait to see the police, because the police won't stop you and chase you. They'll just get you at a roadblock. And I can't wait to see them try and pull a grandmother off of her giant e-bike with her 2 grandchildren with her. It's going to be very interesting to watch. But good morning. Happy Mayday, Labor Day weekend. Cheers. I've got a banana, strawberry, and blackberry smoothie this morning with a little bit of yogurt. Trying to stay healthy, trying to lose some weight. It's been a struggle since quarantine lifted. And my gym, I have a story about the gym. My gym is open, but they are only allowed at about 75% of their capacity, and you have to make a reservation the day before. So it's not as convenient as it once was. And when you're in there, you have to wear a mask too. And I don't know, if you exercise with a mask on, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. All right, Moss says, hello, sound good, 5x5, lighting, 3x5, orange, a green plant may break up the 3-tone in the background. Well, yes, I want to get a plant over here, but what I really need to do is get a background, because I just do this in my living room. I mean, this is my sofa, and my TV's right there, and then the kitchen's on the other side. So this is my work area. My desk area is essentially inside my living room. If you watch my apartment tour, you can see that. So I've literally got like this studio kind of set up on this itty bitty little wooden desk, and I need to. And this is what I have behind me. This is all my workstation. So what I need to do is get one of those little black or colored backgrounds. And then I thought about moving this entire setup into my second bedroom, which I just use as a closet. That way it can be a little bit more professional. But money is tight. So, I mean, I am getting still a salary, but all of my other endeavors that I was involved with here in China have come to a screeching halt. And everyone is hurting, and I'm just like everyone else. I have lost probably about 75 to 80% of my normal income over the last 4 or 5 months. So it's been a big struggle, and I don't want to invest too much money at the moment. But if you want to give me money, you can support me on Patreon. I have a couple Patreons since setting it up a couple weeks ago, and it's been extremely generous. It's wonderful, and I've been talking with them offline and gearing, okay, what kind of content are you looking for? And that's if you're a Patreon, obviously I'm going to give you a lot more attention. But they've given me some suggestions on some things that they would like to see, some formats that they would like to see, and I take it to heart, and I will try to accommodate that. But I don't do YouTube for the money. I mean, again, every dollar that for additional hardware or cameras or software, I still use the off the shelf free software. And this web camera is my old iPhone 7 that I'm using. I have an iPhone 11, but it's starting to get actually cracked a little bit, to be honest. And I use the DJI Pocket and the DJI Osmo Action. Those are my two primary camera systems. This here is the Osmo Mobile 2, which I used to use in conjunction with the iPhone 7, but it's very big, cumbersome, and it drains the battery on the 7. So I only get maybe 20, 30 minutes of filming time when I use this. But it is a good product. The Osmo Mobile 3 is out, but I'm not willing to spend the money right now, So I have other expenses, especially, back in America. As you all know, America is not doing too well. I have other expenses there as well. So again, if you'd like to support me, please share my videos. I only make maybe $15, $20 a month on AdSense. I mean, I'm not a big channel, so it doesn't make much of a difference. I have started a new blog, and so you go to walkaboutrojo.com. I have written a couple articles. I plan on writing more. I enjoy writing. It doesn't take a whole lot of time for me, but what it is it's in connection with the videos, and what I'll do is the videos that I'll make, I will go more into depth, more behind the scenes, a couple new images and things like that about the topic or what was going on when I was making that video. And so it's just something like a cousin to the YouTube channel. All right, so hey, Fernando's on. Thank you. Good to see you, brother. Fernando, am I right in saying that, of course, China, my interview will be this week? I think you told me that. So I don't want to give wrong information. So I'll give a plug out for that one. Not complaining. It's a good layout. It's a good layout for now. I mean, you can see if you go back to my first live streams, it was crap. But continuous improvement. That's what we do, right? What do you think about? Okay. Yes, the set is looking and sounding good. Nice. Oh, thank you. Hello, Uncle Foreigner. I just discovered you this week. He did like a mashup of all the China vloggers. I thought it was pretty interesting, pretty cool. And then I watched a couple of other of your videos, and it's just a humorous way of looking at vlogging in China. So I really appreciate the work that you're doing, but I also think you have a very interesting, different take. Where most of us China vloggers are rather serious and and try to give a very serious point of view. You've got a much like Straya, you've got a very and snarky, you've got a very humorous slant. So I appreciate the videos that you're putting out. Moss says, great video content's going to support you. Thank you very much. Please do. I appreciate that. And Fernando says, yes. So, of course, China is the new big podcast here in China. It's out for a couple of weeks. I'll give a plug. And it's small little snippets throughout the week. And then on Fridays, they release the full interview, which can be a couple hours long. And apparently my interviews will be this week. So I look forward to seeing how it all comes out. And my friends are like, are you out today? And I tell them, I'm doing live stream, man. Everyone and their mother is out today. It's a beautiful day. It's Sunday, and it's the middle of the holiday. And I'm scared to go to the parks because I think it'd just be doing a live stream. I think it would just be overwhelming how many people. It'd be great people watching. But then again, everyone has to wear a mask, so you won't actually see who these people are. Okay. What else was I going to say? Oh, I do have another couple of URLs that I'm working with. Don't know exactly what's going... Thanks, Fernando. I appreciate that. I don't know exactly what they're going to be yet, but I even though I've been working a lot, I still feel as though I have a lot of free time. That's um, one of the advantages of working at a college. Come the end of June, uh, things are going to get. It's unknown what will happen at the end of the term. I can't leave China. You know, I really want to go home. I feel like I need to go home right now, but I can't leave China because if I did, I wouldn't be allowed to come back, and my life is here. And but I there are parts of me that are I'm waiting for a phone call basically, telling me to come home. Okay, so let's go to the news. And thanks again for all you supporters out there, and thanks for watching me on this Sunday morning, Saturday night if you're in America. Let's go to the news. Lots of things to just talk about today. So, of course, it is the Mayday holiday here. It's 5 days. Chinese tourists swarm to the sacred mountain to watch the sunrise. Look at this crowd. This is not indicative of everywhere in China. People will see these images and say, "Oh, this is what it's like everywhere." And I think that this is poor people management, this particular site. But most scenic spots, most parks have a quota, and they count. And if they only allow a certain amount of people in for safety reasons. So this is a very odd thing for me to see. But if you notice, everyone's wearing a mask. It would be impossible to social distance here. Tens of thousands of Chinese tourists have ditched social distancing and flocked to the sacred mountain to watch the sunrise as they celebrate the country's first national holiday after the coronavirus lockdown. A video shows that Mount Tai, one of China's 5 greatest mountains, being jam-packed with visitors this morning. Similar sights can be spotted in other famous tourist attractions in China as the country welcomes its first post-lockdown national holiday. I have seen videos of, see here is the Great Wall. The Great Wall is not as packed as it has been in past holidays. So I've seen the videos. They're limiting the amount of people going. And they're limiting the amount of people in the parks and in the scenic spots. So seeing this is not indicative of the rest of the country. It's unfortunate, though. Chinese officials said they expect over 117 million people to travel during the 5-day vacation. This is one report that I've seen. I've seen people say it's less than half of that because people don't want to go. Tyler joined me. Hey, Tyler. A lot of teachers, if you're a university teacher, like say, I know Guelo's been reporting like in Nanning, the students go on the campus and the teachers are on the campus and no one can leave the campus. I don't know if that's the case right now during the holiday. They've told me that if I want to travel, I can, but they don't recommend that I leave Guangdong province because it could change my health code. The health code is, you scan a little QR code when you enter in public places and it gives you a green, yellow, red. And if you go someplace that is deemed to be a little bit more dangerous or you come in close contact with somebody that is later determined to be asymptomatic or tested positive, then that will change your health code. So the more you travel, the more risk you have of getting your health code changed. So they said, I said, well, why don't I go to Hainan or something? They said, no, don't do that. There's a lot more people. They're a lot more open there as far as travel. So it'll change your health code. And I actually have been told that some people are being actually told don't leave the city. So I don't think there's a whole lot of traveling going on. I have another article here that will reinforce that. Yeah. So this is more typical of what you might see. A small grouping like this, mostly families all together enjoying the picture shows people wearing face masks. No, so it looks like Disneyland Shanghai is open again. I didn't know that. It's the Great Wall. Yeah, see, this is what I've been seeing here. Normally during a national holiday, you will see the Great Wall just packed, ass to ass with people. And so this is what I've been seeing mostly in the other reports for the Great Wall. But yeah, Face masks are a thing. Children and adults, they're everywhere. If you walk down the street, you ride your e-bike around, you might see a couple people without a mask because they're not required to wear one. But as soon as you go anywhere public, you're required to wear a mask. The boans, they'll require it for you. And as you can see, this little girl here with the mask under her chin, that's very common sight because it gets hot in these masks. You know, yeah, everyone's still wearing a mask. Social distancing, maybe. Line up. This is the Temple of Heaven. Yeah, I. This is in Nanjing railway station. Riding public transportation. I've been riding my e-bike. Sometimes I'll ride the bus, but I haven't been on the bus in months. It's just why bother? You know, I haven't been on the train in a long time. Since I bought my car, I haven't had a need for it. But I can imagine that public restrooms are also a place that I avoid. Public restrooms. People wearing face masks prepare to take trains in Shanghai, Hongqiao. That place is gigantic, by the way. This Hongqiao railway station. I did a video about it. It's like an airport, high-speed rail, subway station, commerce center, mall combination. It's ridiculously huge. Here you are, the Forbidden City. I can't wait to go here. I really would love to visit Beijing. I plan to go to Beijing this summer, but that might be off the table now. I want to do like a Xi'an Beijing combo. So good images, great images about what's going on here in China during the holiday. Let's go to some of these. Yeah, Tyler says, oh wait, Mike says, just love the video content that you do. Keep up with what you are doing. I just enjoy what you do. Keep it up, mate. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your support, man, a lot. Hey, from Alaska, Kristen McDonald. Cheers from one of the states I have not been to yet. I've been to I think I've been to all 48 continental states, but Hawaii and Alaska are the two that have eluded me my entire life. I hope to go check that out. Tyler says he's been suggested not to leave the city. I've been suggested not to leave the province. But I do know that some teachers have actually been told, don't leave. Yeah. Well, not wearing masks is more of a culture thing than science. Wearing masks doesn't guarantee you that you will not get sick, but it would drastically decrease the possibility of catching virus. That's true. It's part of the culture. It was part of the culture here before all this madness took place. I remember seeing people wearing masks, and I'm like, oh, they're, they didn't put their makeup on or something, right? But no, in reality, is when people generally are feeling they get a little sniffle, they will wear a mask and to not infect everyone else. And then some people do like to hide behind the mask when they go out, but it's very common, and it was part of the culture here to begin with. So that's why I from the very beginning, the Chinese have adopted the mask wearing thing. And I think you're going to continue to see this through the end of the year because there seems to be a lot more confidence in the air that China's safe. People are going out to restaurants more. People are shopping more. They're going out to public places more. But they are still washing their hands and wearing face masks everywhere they go. And I don't think that's going to change for a long, long time. You will not see this in America, and I really don't understand why not. Now that I've been in China and I've lived it, it seems like such a simple no-brainer. But, I mean, when I was living back in America, of course not. I never wore a mask. It's not part of our culture. But I recommend all Americans to wear a mask. Actually, it's just the opposite. It dramatically decreases the chance of spreading it to others. You guys can argue about the mask thing. Social distancing will change the elbow fight culture when lining up in China. Maybe, Fernando. That I hope to see that the queuing culture here has improved. I mean, just in the few years I've been here, I remember when I would go to get a train ticket or even just go to McDonald's, there was no queuing culture. It was everyone screaming, "Take my money! I'm next! I'm next! I'm next!" But that has seemed to improve, and there seems to be a queuing culture developing in China. That's mostly it thinks there are some individuals, that they when you're standing in line and you're waiting patiently, there'll be an individual that kind of creeps up and he's looking around, and he'll pretend to go try to read a sign at the front, but everyone knows that he's looking for a way to get in, and because it's still kind of a people don't what's the term I'm looking for? There's not much confrontation here, so people are scared to confront that person. So he just kind of winks in and does his business, and then goes. And everyone hates those people, but nobody stops them. It's the person giving the service. It's the person behind the cash register or at the train ticket station. I've seen the train ticket station people do this, and they say, "No, you go to the end of the line," and everyone just kind of, they don't clap, but they kind of like, yeah, yeah, yes. So it is an improving part of the culture here. Yes, eventually when you can, Forbidden City would be nice, but I know that's in the future. Forbidden City, well, all of Beijing's big attractions, of course, some of Beijing's smaller attractions, but Xi'an is like the place that's on my mind right now. Xi'an, a couple places in Anhui and Yunnan. But Xi'an, for sure, I want to go see. I've been learning and watching these documentaries about Chinese history, and Xi'an seems to be the place to go. Okay, guys, don't fight over the mask. The point is, masks help one way or the other. They help. And even if they don't, it's not a big deal to ask someone to wear a mask. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I don't want to talk about masks anymore and get part of that argument. Over 80 million tourists expected. So one said over 117 million. This one says over 180 million tourists expected. This is obviously the Li River in Guilin. This is a heavily filtered photo. These guys that you see here fishing are mostly there for the tourists to take photos with. They're really, really cool. Don't get me wrong. They're awesome. But, they don't even want you looking at them unless you give them, 5 RMB. This is obviously Shanghai. Okay, we've talked about that. Let's talk about other things. Bye-bye Alipay and WeChat Pay. Digital RMBs coming. This is huge news in the finance world here in China. We'll see what happens. Finally, China will soon start testing its central bank digital currency in selected regions. Unlike Alipay and WeChat Pay that rely on the internet, digital currency can be exchanged offline, just like using physical cash. Will you use it? Now, I don't use regular cash anymore. Most people in China don't. We all use Alipay or WeChat Pay. I have cash in my wallet just as emergency money. I'll use it to occasionally. It's very, very rare. But generally, I just take my phone with me and pay like that. But the biggest difference between that, and by the way, Alibaba and Tencent have made a fortune off of these digital currencies. But this one will be offline. Trials underway. China has started testing its government-backed digital currency in some regions before it is introduced to the public, aiming to replace paper notes and coins in circulation, according to the People's Bank of China, the central bank. So they're still producing the notes, and I know cash is still king. Come Spring Festival, the little red packets are filled with cash, and the red packet lucky money is a big part of doing business here as well. I'll let you guys figure out what that is, but cash is still king. Now that trials are being conducted, it is closed environment. It is reported that pilot programs will soon start in selected regions, including Shenzhen, Suzhou, Chengdu, and Zhongshan, new area of Hubei province. Trials will focus on consumption scenarios such as catering and retail sales. A report from Sichuan Newsnet said that Chengdu will apply the digital currency in online and offline consumption activities. Shandong will mainly use it for cleaning services, while in Shenzhen, bank employees will pay taxes with the digital currency. Interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see if this actually takes off, because WeChat and Alipay have use it for shopping, buying everything, and everything you pay your utilities on it, and you pay your phone bill. Everything is done through WeChat here, and to that's part of the convenience of having the pay feature within WeChat. It's going to be interesting to see if this will be a thing in the future or take off. So the public can transfer the money to their bank accounts to the digital version and deposit the same electronic wallets. It's the same thing. Same thing as Apple Pay, WeChat Pay, Alipay. So we'll see what happens. Different from existing electronic payments such as Alipay and WeChat Pay that rely on the internet, digital currency can be exchanged offline with two cell phones get close to each other. I wonder how the tracking will go with this. I mean, the coverage here, yes, you need internet to use WeChat and Alipay, but I mean, the coverage here, if you're in the deep in the mountains somewhere, you still have phone coverage. Everyone has phone coverage in the smallest little villages. You've got 4G coverage everywhere here. Okay. What effect will be? Compared to paper notes and coins, the digital currency can cut issuing costs, such as expenses on printing, transportation, and management. Yeah. Cash will always be king. Because with cash, there's no trail. Cash will never go away. I'm a paramedic. We put masks on respiratory patients and uses masks ourselves. All prior to the virus, masks used in both containment and preventive measures. Uncle Foreigner says, I lived in Lijiang for a year. It was an experience. I want to go to Lijiang. I really do. Lijiang, Dali, Shangri-La, that whole area. I look forward to going back to Lijiang as a tourist. Living there was a bit of a nightmare. I'm curious why. Yes, full PPE and cleanup is forever decontamination. No, you don't need Wi-Fi for Alipay or WeChat Pay, but you do need the data. That's right. Yeah, the data. Tyler says, "Yo, that's right. You went there, right? Yeah, Dali, Shangri-La to Lijiang." Tyler, I told you about my ex-girlfriend in Lijiang. How do foreigners use digital RMB when they newly arrive at the country? Good question. I have no idea. You have to have a Chinese bank account, from what I know. That's why cash is king. You just get some cash and you pay it. No one will ever say no to cash. If you go to a shop and something pay cash, they're going to accept it. Any kind of restaurant, a vendor paying for services, cash is still king and will always be king, because there's always a little bit of an opportunity to say, "Oh, I didn't make this money this year, Mr. Government Taxman." Okay, let's move on to the next one. Hong Kong extends quarantines for arrivals into June. So that means for another month, at the very least, Hong Kong, you want to go to Hong Kong, you are in a 14-day quarantine. If you're on Chinese mainland, it looks like a quick trip to Hong Kong will remain out of reach. The mandatory quarantine on arrivals who have been to the Chinese mainland, Macau, or Taiwan in the past 14 days was set to expire on May 7th. However, the Special Administrative Region has now extended the period for another month until June 7th. So Hong Kong is still closed. So closed for another month. Sucks. I love Hong Kong. I love it because I'm 2 minutes from the ferry terminal, and then that's another hour 15 into Hong Kong. And I love the idea that I could just get on the boat and go to Hong Kong for the day and come back. And Hong Kong is like Disneyland. Because first of all, everything works in Hong Kong. You have incredible foods, fusion foods. The people watching is outrageous. They actually have clothes that fit me. And it's just wonderful just to go there for a day and get a change of pace and see a giant city like Hong Kong. That's still closed. Yin and Mike, my good friends. Can you send us some cash? We all need it. Yin and Michael, good to see you. God, I haven't talked to you guys in a couple of years now. Yin is my old good roommate and friend, and Mike is my old business partner. And I think you guys are still in Northern California, right? God, all these memories flooding back into my head right now. So, I'm so happy that you joined the live stream, guys. Yin says, "Did I tell you my aunt was Miss Hong Kong, 1978?" No, you did not tell me that. I did not know that. I hope you and all your kids are doing well. I hope the children are doing great. I see photos on Facebook of you guys, and it looks like you guys are doing well, especially your folks. Your folks will post photos. But, God, I hope you're being safe and all is well back in America. Maybe when all this is over and I come back home, we should get together, because it's been a very long time since I've seen you guys. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. 2 sessions to open in late May in Beijing. The 2 sessions, China's most important annual political event, will be held in late May in Beijing, according to the official releases on Wednesday. This was postponed, and now it'll be in late May. It customarily begins on March 5th, and the annual plenary session of the CPPCC National Committee, which should be open on March 3rd. This is the big political thing. Now, I bring this up because every year that this happens, my communication with the outside world gets cut. So towards the end of this month, I'm anticipating about 10 days to 2 weeks. You will not hear from me or most other China YouTubers. So because our communication will be cut. And that happens every year, and it's a very, very frustrating. I've already told my family to be prepared for it. But yeah, it's going to happen. So I'm trying to get as much work in as I can now. And but if you don't hear from me for 2 weeks at the end of May, this is the reason for it. And then starting probably up in June, you'll start hearing from us again. All right. Hi, Paul. Julie from Toronto. You sound cheerful. You are well? Yes, I am very, very well. A little tired, lesson planning. So, thanks, Yen, for watching my vlog. I make this vlog for my friends and my family back home so you guys can see what I'm up to. It's a lot of fun to do it, too. So 2 sessions will be held in video conference. Is that what it says? I don't think so, no. No. See, every year during the 2 sessions, about 3,000 national legislators, 2,150 national political advisors travel to Beijing to review work reports in central government. So it's not going to be video. It's going to be live. Next one. China to restore tolls nationwide from May 6th. So over the last couple of months since the pandemic started, and actually since the pandemic was kind of waning a little bit and a lot of the cities were starting to open up, the toll roads were free all throughout the country. So you can drive freely on the toll roads anywhere in the country. It started during Spring Festival, actually. I remember because when I went to Guangdong, there were no tolls. So what would normally cost me probably around 700 RMB or $100 in tolls to drive to Yangshuo, Guilin from here was free, both ways. So it was a great money saver. And now it's been great because if I want to go down to Nanlong or Zhuhai and stuff, you hop on the toll road and you're there in no time. I've been able to do that, no problem, no tolls. But now they're going to start charging tolls. So after the Mayday holiday, that's what's going to happen. I saw your comment, by the way. What do you think of the opening of Chinese financial markets and foreign investments? I don't know enough about that. I need to research. I saw your comment this morning when I woke up. I will research that and find out. I do know that every couple of months they quote unquote open up some kind of new uh, avenue for international investment into China for certain industries, but they're very strict, only allowed in certain areas and to meet certain financial thresholds. I don't know how that's going to affect the real estate market, but I will look into it. I'll have to research it a little bit because I don't know for sure. It's happening last month. I was like, okay, how much would it cost for me to fly to Yunnan or to Chengdu? And with the look at these prices. This is Hangzhou, no. What is this? Guys, help me out. I don't know that one. This is Guangzhou. But you can see here, 228 RMB. What is that, $30? About $30? That's insane. Fly across the country. It's about $30. Shanghai, of course. No, that's not Shanghai. Guys, help me out. I don't know these characters. I've seen them before. I feel like I should know them. Drawing a blank. With the Mayday holiday around the corner, domestic airlines have dramatically discounted their ticket prices, some as low as 80 to 90% off. I have friends who work in the airline industry here, and many of them have been laid off. The airline industry domestically has been hit very, very hard here, just as much as it has all throughout the world. But you can see very, very cheap. Beijing to Shanghai. Shanghai to Shenzhen rounds ranges from 250 to 400 RMB. Wow. Tickets for Hangzhou to Beijing came up around 220 RMB. Other major cities around China are also reachable with 60 to 70% discount. But remember, when you travel, you're subject to your health code being changed. And God forbid, if your health code changes, especially as a foreigner, it's Beijing. Thanks, Yen. Yen would know. So Beijing to Guangzhou. So basically across the country for 228 RMB. I know those characters. I should know that by now. Anyways, if your health code changes, you can't go into a mall, a supermarket. You can't go anywhere. You won't even be able to, in some cases, leave your home. So when you travel, you're really traveling at your own risk. You have to be very careful. But look at these prices. Insane, right? Yeah. So I've seen this on Trip.com. I've seen it on WeChat. Compared to last year, a flight from Shanghai to Donghuang in western China's Gansu province will cost 860 RMB. So, yeah. So if you want to travel, it's cheap. Cheaper than the trains. Luckin Coffee headquarters raided by Chinese market regulators. This is from That's Guangzhou. We'll see what happens with this. I think we're going to have a lot more fallout from the Luckin Coffee debacle. I can tell you, though, that Luckin Coffee is still operating and still selling a ton of coffee. But if you look in the past of what happened with Luckin Coffee, you can see that, they've done some bad things. So I'm really hoping to see how this all pans out. I still, to this day, have not tried Luckin Coffee. Because still to this day, I tried it again. I cannot get the Luckin Coffee app to sync with my WeChat. And nobody can help. I had a friend come with me and we tried to figure it out. Couldn't figure it out. And, she could get hers to sync, but for some reason I couldn't get mine to sync. And people behind at the coffee shop couldn't figure it out. And you can't go to the counter and order coffee. They say you have to. That's a big thing now, by the way, that I'm actually kind of annoyed by. You go to a lot of shops, you go to a lot of these, dessert shops, tea shops and everything, and you go up to the counter and you sit there. This is happening at McDonald's, it's happening everywhere. You go up to the counter and you're I'd like to order. And they say, well, scan this QR code and order online. So I don't want to. It's just you just take out your phone, you scan it, you have to put your phone number in, you have to register. Then you have to go through the menu and try to find exactly what you want, and then it says, okay, what size do you want? By the way, do you want these extras? Then you pay. And they say, oh, it's convenient. It's not. It takes a hell of a lot more time, and it's not convenient, especially if you don't read Chinese. So these shops that I've seen that, here's my money. Done. That is gone in a lot of these places. And many sit-down restaurants are like this too. You have the hostess comes, oh, right this way, sit down here. Okay, scan this QR code for the menu. I'm like, what? I don't want to look at the menu in tiny little fine print and tiny little pictures on my phone. I would like to see a menu, please. And I would like to ask you questions. And I would like to order directly to you. I would like the cauliflower, please. No oil. You can't do that on the app. So the customer service has been taken out completely. It's something that really kind of bothers me a little bit. Okay, sure, this applies to you if you're at a training center. Now, we've all seen that the schools are going back, the children are going back to school on a progressive timeline. Here at my college, after the holiday on May 11th, the seniors will arrive back here. And I've seen them that they've got, they're setting up these tents and these rows and stuff just inside the gates of security. So when the students come back on, they can be processed and tested and all that, because all students have to be tested. All teachers have to be tested. So they're gearing up for that right now. They're actually building that down by the security gates. And then May 18th is when all the other students will be arriving back. But no one knew when kindergartens and training centers were going to reopen. And this employs hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And it's not just English education, it's vocational training, it's music training, everything. And so they released some of these schedules. Now, here in Guangdong, we still don't have it. But in these provinces, you have Anhui, Zhejiang, Fujian, Jiangxi, Sichuan. So in Chengdu, no earlier than all the off-campus training institutions, so May 6th. Some have been allowed to open. So all the national chains are really gearing up and focusing, because they have to retrain the staff. They have to clean. They have to put all the safety measures in place. When you go, you have to hand sanitizer, temperature check, write down. There's lots of different measures people have to take in order to go back into the training centers. Excuse me. But so far, that's it. So Guangdong being one of the hardest hit and being one of the slowest ones to open back up, I'm sure will be after this. But people are guessing towards the end of May. They're kind of waiting to see how the other schools, the primary schools, the middle schools, the senior schools are all kind of dealing. They're starting to open up. It was like last week there was one city in Zhejiang that said, okay, we're going to open it up. And then all of these other cities started following suit, and I think that's going to continue. Kristen asks, are training centers doing more online? Yes, they are, but the customers don't like it. So they've seen a drop-off. And when it first started, it seemed like when this pandemic first started, everyone and their mother went to online teaching. All the teachers went to online teaching. All the students went to online teaching. That lasted for maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and now there's no demand for online teaching. It's still some, especially with the lower level, the children, but I think people got burned out on it. I know many of the teachers got burned out on it, but I also hear that many of the students and the student parents are recognizing that it's not the best way to learn. China Teacher Brand did a video this week, and he mentioned that some of these international schools that are doing online teaching, well, the teachers are literally just taking lessons off of YouTube, splicing them together and sending them to the students and still getting a full salary. I think that's ridiculous. And it's shameful. If you're a teacher that does that, now I use YouTube videos occasionally to support my lesson. So if I do a 90-minute lesson, I might have a 3-minute video where from a scene from a movie. If I'm doing a lesson about holidays, I might have a Thanksgiving scene. Okay, and I have them watch it. We'll do some gap fill. I'll have to put in the captions and then take a word out and do some gap fill exercises and stuff like that. But what a lot of these teachers are doing is they're literally just taking a full lesson off the internet, 10, 15-minute lesson on I don't know, past participles or whatever, and then submitting that to the school and the students as their work. And that's so shameful. And if you're a teacher doing that, you should be ashamed of yourself. So, but the parents don't know, the teachers don't know. But if you're caught, if I catch you doing that, I'm gonna call you out. It's ridiculous. Okay, enough of that. Sorry. Dog waits for owner 3 years after being abandoned. This is cute. A faithful dog in China has reported waited for his owner to return home for 3 years after its owner deserted it without saying goodbye. The pet, nickname Hedzit, is said to have waited day and night in a residential complex where it and its owner used to live in the city of Xi'an. The plot hound belonged to a Korean expat who moved back to South Korea in 2017 and left the dog behind, a neighbor told reporters. The neighbor, named Wang Huili, I think that's it, urged the public to help Hedzit after community officers repeatedly threatened to catch the dog, deemed it as a stray. She also said that some locals who were scared of dogs complained that Hedzit to authorities. They urged officials to remove the animal from the neighborhood. However, Wang stressed that many people in the estate had shown sympathy toward Hedzit and treated it as their own pet. I just like seeing stories like this. A cute puppy dog. A girl told Pear, "This dog is very loyal. It has waited for its owner in the estate all these years, since the owner left. It has never thought of leaving the estate or finding a new owner. It's hoping that one day its owner would come back to get it." Locals have built a small tent and a patch of bamboo in the estate for Hedzit to rest in. They would also leave food outside the tent. So it looks like the neighbors have adopted this. It's clever, sensitive, gentle. It never picks a fight with other dogs or chases children. Animal lovers have taken it in turns to look after the dog. So there's, you see a lot of reports about dogs in China, and that is, that's important reporting. But when you see, it kind of gives an impression that all of China thinks one way. But then you see stories like this and you realize, it's not that way. So they're heartwarming. Okay. Yeah, I think our schools are sick of online too, university and elementary. My old professors Zooming 10 hours a day. Yikes, that's rough. I won't do that. Young Chinese not keen to get married. Rates are down. Everyone knows this is coming. A total of 2.79 million couples registered for marriages in the first quarter of the year, according to China Ministry of Civil Affairs, down 46% from last year. Now, I know that the COVID-19 had a lot to do with this. If you were dating and then all of a sudden you're in quarantine, most of those relationships did not survive. They were dead. So, but I do know that as soon as the restrictions got lifted, a lot of people went to go get married right away. At present, 5,771 marriage registration offices around the country have resumed work with no cases of cross-infection or infection clusters of COVID-19 reported during marriage registrations, which are in decline for the fourth consecutive year. Why is the younger generation of Chinese people reluctant to get married? I think you know why. People ask me, "Paul, why are you not married?" I'm like, duh, of course. Of course I'm not married. This is going to be a bit debate, taking up a lot of social forums and social media channels where netizens share mixed feelings. From many people's perspective, they believe that today's young Chinese are under more pressure than their parents' generation. I do agree with that, both in terms of housing prices and social pressure. As a result, they are increasingly more cautious for their choice of marriage. Many of today's younger folks have also changed their view on procreation, claiming that freedom is the ultimate pursuit rate in marriage registrations. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Yeah, it is a thing. It's just like it is in the West. As in any developed country, as a country becomes more wealthy, partnerships, you still have, boyfriends and girlfriends, and they're still dating, except if you live in Japan, apparently. I've heard stories about Japan lately that nobody wants to date, not even have sex anymore. That's surprising to me. Gyms fall quiet as China battles second corona waves. I told you about my gym. It's only allowed a certain amount, like 75% uh, of the of capacity, and you have to make a reservation before you go in. And we're in a low area, but Beijing had to close them again. This makes sense. If you have a spike in cases, you got to close places like the gym. Even my gym, the swimming pool is not open, and the hot steam sauna is not open. So I'm paying all this money, and I'm not getting all the benefits. And I know that my membership is coming up for renewal soon, and I'm going to say, look, I'm not going to pay a full membership if I can't use the swimming pool and I can't use the sauna, because first of all, you have an indoor swimming pool, you have a very nice sauna. That's why I came to this gym, and that's why I pay more money. So this is, even if the gyms are open, people are going to want to pay less. So the gym industry has gotten hit really, really hard. It was one of those growing industries here. Great podcast on of course, China, from Fernando and Zib. Check it out. They interviewed this dude who was in the gym business in Shenzhen, and all the legalities and some business stories and some case studies and some hidden secrets about what it takes to operate a gym, and the financial planning of owning a gym, especially here in China. Fantastic podcast. I really enjoyed every minute of it. It's you learn a lot from that. Okay. We talked about this trail last time. Just want to show you some photos. This is the new trail that's in Guangdong. It's combining the different districts from Bayou Mountain, and it's an elevated trail. It looks a lot like the elevated trail that they have in Singapore, but looks fantastic. I can't wait to go visit this. So it's 8. How long is each stretch in Yundao? 8 kilometers. Yueshu Parks and Memorial. Okay, so different measurements. I don't know if I would want to go jogging on this, but be a nice place to go for a stroll. Yeah. Okay. No more Beijing bikinis. We all kind of got to laugh at this. If you don't know what a Beijing bikini is, this is it. So, and I've been guilty of this myself occasionally. I remember sometimes when it's really hot and sweaty, I'll lift up my shirt and do a little Beijing bikini thing myself, because it really does cool you down, let me tell you. But it's definitely not, the sexiest thing in the world, is it? But Beijing says no more Beijing bikinis starting June 1st. The iconic Beijing bikini may soon be a thing of the past, according to they're cracking down on uncivilized behavior. On Friday, the municipal government officials announced a new set of rules aimed at improving social behavior and public hygiene in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. The regulations will formally require individuals to cover up while coughing or sneezing and wear a face mask in public when ill. So if you're ill, you have to wear a mask, and you have to cover your mouth when you cough or you sneeze. How are they going to enforce this? I don't know. Nationwide ban on uncivilized behavior on China's subways. That's another thing. Residents and visitors will also be encouraged to dress neatly in public, which likely means the days of the Beijing bikini are numbered. While the new regulations don't specifically call out the infamous summer look in which men across the city roll up their shirts and expose their midriff, they do explicitly discourage going shirtless in public. This translates to a total ban on exposed bellies, according to a tweet from state-run newspaper, The Global Times. So men cannot expose their belly. So the Beijing bikini. Can women? If a woman's wearing like a tank top or one of those training tops, that exposes their belly. Can they do that? I don't know. The new regulations also increase punishments for previously blacklisted behaviors, including spitting, littering, public defecation, smoking in prohibited areas, disturbing public order, throwing items from high places, improperly sorting trash, failing to clean up dog poop, and eating on the metro. Violators could face fines between 50 to 200 RMB for basic offenses such as spitting and littering, and between 500 and 5,000 RMB for more dangerous actions such as throwing objects from balconies. Serious offenses could also land rule breakers in detention. Additionally, the rules require public venues such as restaurants to space tables at least 1 meter apart to provide communal utensils for shared meals. Such practices have already been in place in several establishments across the city since the coronavirus outbreak first began. Okay. Last but not least, last news story for the day. Popeyes is opening in China. Now there is a Popeyes in the Hong Kong airport, and I make it a plan to go there. Whenever I go to the Hong Kong airport, I'm either having a hamburger and a beer or I'm eating Popeyes because I love Popeyes fried chicken. I think it's so much better than KFC, especially in China. Yeah. And this also, remember that Taco Bell is opening up a new location in Shenzhen. We announced in November that Popeyes was lining up a joint in Shanghai. Well, we are happy to inform you that we have spotted hoarding for the Louisiana fried chicken chain on the corner of Huaihai Lu and Chengdu, which will open on May 15th, according to Popeyes' official WeChat. Popeyes is the second largest quick service fast food chicken restaurant group measured by number of units after KFC, founded in 1972 in New Orleans. So they have Cajun sides, red beans and rice, green beans with turkey bacon. That is really good. Mashed potatoes and gravy. I actually prefer the mashed potatoes and gravy at KFC, but even though I don't think it's the healthiest. Buttermilk biscuits. I think the buttermilk biscuits at Popeyes are divine. So there it is. Good news for chicken lovers. Now, I hope one of the biggest things I did not like about KFC in China is that they use a different part of the chicken. KFC in America, they use the white meat. They use the chicken breast. Here, they use the dark meat. And it's that way across the board. You go to Burger King, you order a chicken hamburger, they're using the dark meat. And it's not my preference. It still tastes all right, but my preference is the white chicken meat. And I'm hoping that Popeyes goes with the white chicken meat. Now, the reason why KFC goes with the dark chicken meat here in China is because that's the preference for the local taste. The Chinese like the dark meat. So that's fine. So we'll see what happens with this. Okay, so that's all I have to talk about today. Thank you all for joining me on this live stream. How long have I been streaming for? A little over an hour. Got through that one pretty quick. I thought that was going to take a lot. And I had a lot of news to cover. But thank you all for watching my videos and supporting me. Remember, you can support me on Patreon. I will soon have a PayPal account. You can buy me a coffee. But most anything, thank you for just watching and sharing my videos and letting me know that you guys still care. I love the comments. I try to get to every single comment and respond to it. Over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be more of the same. Just going to continue to work. I'm going to continue to document my life here, and I got a couple of other surprises around the corner. Until then, until the next video, thanks everyone for joining me. Take care.